this 76,000 from Riker. If you started in Area 18, you go up to Baijini Point, and you got 76,000, and then you take all 6 of these. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. 300,000 credits right there. You can fit all on this one ship, and then you come from Baijini back to Riker. As soon as these are done, you can pick them up again. So we are going to straight up see how long it takes to do this loop here and how much money we make. So we're going from Riker up to Baijini Point, and then Baijini Point back to Riker. And we will see how much money we make. I have a timestamp. We're 20 seconds into it already, guys. We are going to go ahead and just take these, move to elevator, bring that up. I wait till the elevator starts to make noise. You see all the lights. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and move the ship on over. We had 11 of the 8 SCU boxes and one SCU box. Is that what it said? I don't really remember, to be honest. And how many credits do we have right now? We have 1,170,217 right down there. So we will see once we get done with this whole loop, which you can do over and over and over again as long as you want until you get so absolutely completely bored you want to do something else. But I bet it's going to take less time than that one run I just did where we risked almost $250,000 and only got 52,000 for it. Here we're going to make like 400 almost and risk none of our own money for it. So in the Taurus, put that, the tractor beam turret right there, right in the middle of that hangar bay. And then come on over and put your landing gear right on that yellow line. You'll be good. You won't hit anything. Come back here. Turn off your engines by hitting I, hold F, come over to the side, and open cargo bay. Then, sorry, didn't mean to switch cameras there. Go ahead and get out by holding Y. We're going to come over here to our tractor beam turret. Wait for that to come up and sit down, and then we're just going to chuck all this in here. It was like 96 SCU, if I remember the contract right. I don't remember. We looked through a bunch of them. So, turn this around here, get your bearings, and start chucking them back there. The first row is always the one I take the most time on to make sure I get this back as far as possible, which that looks like it is. And this one here as well. Yeah, there's a 1 SCU box back there. Maybe it's 2. I think it's a 1. I'm going to put this back here as well. So I want to make sure I have as much room as I can. I think those look good. And then we can just throw these back in there. Push it back as far as you can until it hits the other one. And then just let go. Easy peasy. You made yourself a little wall right there. Should be good. Whoops. Just hit the side of my cargo bay. And we just do this a couple times. Now, if you really wanted to maximize the money you were making, I kind of think that this load from Riker to Baijini would not be included. You would just do those, what is it, 50,000 credit contracts from Baijini to Riker. I think that is probably a more efficient use of the time. But I don't feel like wasting a trip. We're just going to take this one here and see how long it takes to make this whole trip. Because I know I can, in the Taurus, you can make this whole trip in one load. Barely make it in one load. It fills up almost the whole floor with these 8 SCU boxes. But it is a one-load trip for $76,000, which is already going to be way more profitable than that one we just did, risking a lot of our own money. There we go. That is everything. So we're going to go ahead and get on up to Baijini Point. I have a keybind set to open and close all the exterior. So you can do that if you want, or you can just hit that same button on the side. So left Alt in opens the hangar or contacts ATC for you. You can close the cargo bay there. I don't know why ATC isn't responding. There we go. I was hitting it earlier, but it wasn't responding for some reason. So our cargo bay is up, right? Hit in for your landing gear. And you hit I to turn your engines back on. While you are in gravity and places like that, go ahead and hit I to turn your engines on and off. When you're out of it, you don't want your engines on. Weird things happen sometimes. So we can go ahead and come up here. We are up and out of here. Hold B for just a second, half second or so, to switch to quantum mode. That way you can get your max speed. Hold shift for boost. And I'm going to say left Alt C sets cruise control, and then hold W to bring it up. You can see on this meter right here, you can see where my cruise control is set. There's a little C right there, so you know you have cruise control on. It just locks in your speed. Hit F2, and to bring up your map, go into the search bar, hit B to prop up Baijini Point. Route, click on that. Hit F2 to close your map again. Then I'm going to hit left Alt C to take off cruise control, and we can go straight to Baijini Point. Now, we didn't really have to do that because we have this marker here for our mission saying we're collecting the shipment for a different mission or contract, which is already there, but that's how you would do that. Since you already have your quantum drive open, wait for that to calibrate, left click. It'll bring this in. I like to just point a little bit off to the side, and I hold shift and just burn it in here as fast as I can. You can hit tab to bring up your scanner, which shows you all the other stuff in there, so you know you're not headed towards something. Right when I get to about 10K out, I'll hold B to switch back out of quantum mode into your regular mode here, and then hold left, just left Alt in will call ATC to get your hangar. You can see where your hangar is here, and then we're just going to go ahead, right click, zooms in to 22% or so. When you hold it, it zooms into 100. And then when you let go, it goes back to 22, and when you click it again, it comes back to normal. So that way you can just kind of zoom in, see where your hangar is here. We have this arm in our way. I'm using tab to see that anything that's in our way, things like that. So we should be clear of everything. Go ahead and come into the hangar here. And once I get close here, just to help monitor the speed, hit in to bring your landing gear forward. That limits your speed to like 30 meters per second or something like that. Be mindful though, you can still use boost with shift to go faster if you want, like this here, but you slow down a lot slower because your engines don't have they're limited on the power because your landing gear's up. Go ahead and hit K to toggle your VTOL mode if you have that. I move my camera here while I get in, and then again, you hold Z to move your camera like this and use your mouse to move it around. Again, we are putting that tractor beam right in front of the middle of that hangar, and we are putting our landing gear right on that yellow line. And go ahead and come down, and we have landed. Hit I to turn off your engines, hold F and look over to the right here to open your cargo bay. Hold Y for a half second to get out of your seat. There's a weird audio glitch right now in these hangars, so you don't hear as much as you normally would, but that's okay until you get down onto the ground. Then go to your turret, press F to get into the turret here. And since the cargo bay was already open, I saw that while I was flying in. This cargo bay was already open. If not, you would have had to get out and go over to that terminal right there and raise the elevator to open it. But most of the time when you land, it's going to be open. So we are going to just take this small guy out of here first and just chuck it over here in the corner out of the way. And you can't hear the tractor beam or anything right now because of that audio glitch again. So you just kind of have to watch for the visual warnings on if the tether is breaking, you're moving too fast or it's too far or something like that. Like if I move too fast here, you'll see that red flashing and then it stops. It just drops whatever you had. That's because the tether on the tractor beam broke. If you walk outside and put your feet on the ground of the hangar, you will fix that audio bug to where you can actually hear the tractor beam do the wah, wah, wah noise like normal. And when you get to that red part there, right before the tether breaks, it kind of does this beep at you kind of thing. So it's a audio warning as well as instead of just a visual warning. I like to hear that stuff, but for the sake of speed, I'm not worried about it. Since, again, we are timing this. And I want to see just kind of the time frame that this would be on. So we are almost done. We got just a handful of boxes left here. We are at 11 and a half minutes so far from when we started this. There we go. I think we got 3 more boxes here. There we go. And again, this is without any investment besides the ship. If you already have a Taurus, awesome. If you don't, there are plenty of other missions you can do to be able to get to where you can rent the Taurus for a day, which is 160,000, I think. Might be mistaken, but I think that's what it was per day. And you do one of these runs, you're going to double the money you spent on the rental for one day. And I'm sure you can do this run in less than an hour. So there we go. That is all right there. So hold Y for a half second, and this will go ahead and pop you up out of the turret. Then, if you don't want to hurt yourself, then just go down your elevator here. Actually, we will, because what you can do is you can walk here and you can go out this. If you walk forward, you do that. You're going to do the ladder animation, which takes forever. If you walk backwards and go straight through that, you will skip the ladder animation, which is a lot quicker, but then you just fall straight to the ground and you take 2 or 3 hit points. So instead of being at 100, you'll have your little circle at the bottom that says you're at 97, 98% health, something like that. But since we are doing this for speed, I'm doing it that way because I'm going to go back up here straight into the turret again, and I'm going to leave that down because we're getting another load here. So we're going to hit lower. You're going to see the contract requirements. So we have 11 of 11 here and 1 of 1. You see that that's green. If you didn't have all of it, this would be gray, and it would tell you like 10 out of 11 it would be gray, or 0 out of 1 it'd be gray. That means you missed something. You have to go back and get it. You don't have to worry about it just as long as you complete it in that amount of time. So we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. It's going to transfer to the warehouse. I like to just wait right now. And as soon as that's done, you're going to see that you completed the contract here. It's going to pop up. Look at that, 89 out of 89 SCU. And if we wait right over here on the right side, it should tell us where my cursor is. It should tell us what we get paid here in just a moment. So there we go, 76,500 credits. And we're at 14 minutes and 15 seconds from when we started that. So that's not, you can't just double say it's going to take 14 minutes or 15 minutes for each run of that $76,000 one, because if you're missing out on the time, you have to go back to the planet. So That right there, as you can see, brought us up the correct amount that it told us we got paid. And now this is where we're going to take all of the other contracts. So this is going to be our big money one. We have 10, 8, 11, 7, 9, and 6. We should have 10 contracts, or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contracts. Perfect. Move to elevator. This is a... That's not right. Is that right? No, that's not the proper SCU number. I was going to say it should be able to tell you, but that's not right. We have more than 51 SCU in this, I'm pretty sure. But this is 6 contracts. All are 50,000. Takes a minute for it to start coming up, but once you hear the noise and the lights of the elevator, you're good to go. I mean, you can go sooner if you want. I just like to wait for a second. So once you get on the elevator, you have to find that weird sweet spot to get the elevator to go up, and then you just tap F. Come back in here. Oh, okay. I apparently hit the upper turret. That is my bad. We are wasting time, guys. We are wasting time. But that is something that will happen. Again, to get out of it, just hold Y for a half a second to get out of that chair. Wait for that to go up, and now we can say enter lower turret, hit F. There we go. Now, the only thing I don't like about this trip, you make a lot of money on it, which is great. The thing I don't like about it is they're all 1 SCU boxes. So it just is kind of annoying to do this because you can't just grab anywhere. You have to grab the ones on the edges to get the ones in the middle. So this takes a little while to actually load up. Just try to push that back fairly far. I think that's the edge. And again, we're just working on building our little wall back there on this first row. We can do 4 wide. So let's get that. Come on. Back there just to see, I pushed it back too far. So we got to get on the grid there. And putting boxes in between boxes is kind of a pain, so I want to move this over next to that one. They look like they're in the same line. And so these are 6 different contracts, right? So we have 6 different commodities that we're doing. It's not all going to be the same commodity. Oh, I shot that one way back there. What the heck am I doing? So I'm just going to bring this in. As soon as I see that hologram, I'm going to let go. But I think that's closer than I want it to be. Go back. This is the longest process, is getting that one, your back wall built up. Right there. And we need to go farther, obviously. I think that's in line with them. It's just facing a different direction. And now all I do is just bring it back here, and as soon as you see that hologram not on the bottom, just keep going back. As soon as it's not on the bottom, it's supposed to go on the top, but I shot it back behind again. I don't know if I'll be able to grab that one. There we go. Get on the cargo grid for me. And then I'm putting these on the back just to kind of build up that wall a little bit more. There we go. And like I said, this is the only downside, is that these are all 1 SCU boxes. So it takes some time to get them in here. Oh my gosh. In some ways, I think that doing this with the max lift might actually be better. A little bit easier, quicker. But alas, we are not doing it with the max lift. I know I left that one box back there. I'm going to go back and get it when we're done here. Because I don't feel like dealing with trying to get it. Because trying to get these small boxes when there's other boxes around can be kind of hard with the tractor beam and the Taurus because it comes from the side. You can't just put your pip on what you're going for, because for instance right here my aiming point is on that middle box, the box that's just to the right of middle. If I click this right now, because the tractor beam comes from the right side, it's going to pick up this box right over here, right? So I'll show you. I'll put this right there, and it picked up the box next to it. So in the bigger boxes, it's not as hard because you don't have to be precise, but in these small ones, it's a little difficult. So if I wanted to pick up this box right here on the corner, I can't click right here. Otherwise, I would attach to the one just to the right of it. I have to come right over here to the side, and then I can select that box. Right, so that's the same kind of thing you have to think of when you are over here, is you have to be a little to the left of whatever you're actually wanting to pick up. But now that we have this wall built back here, we can start just chucking these in here pretty quickly. Just like before, you build up that back wall the first time, and you're good to just start chucking them in here. Because I think we have, let's see, how wide are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. And so if we double stack these, we have more than 100 SCU of space. So you don't have to be super particular here about making sure it all works out perfectly. You can just kind of start chucking them. Now, one other thing too is it is very difficult and can cause other problems if you're trying to pick up boxes that are in between other boxes. So for instance, if I try to pick one up here in the middle, it probably isn't going to go. If you have stuff next to it or on top of it somewhere, then it can cause the other ones to get knocked off the grid and start a chain reaction of stuff just bouncing around. So you want to pick them up from the edge that they're on. So right here, if I'm going for this box, go just to the left of it, click, and you can get that one on the edge so it's actually free to maneuver. And I am going a little bit slower just because I'm talking to you guys, doing a little bit of a tutorial here. But we're still knocking out some good time. We're 22 minutes in so far. Not bad at all, especially because this is going to take some time. We got a lot of these single boxes here, which is really annoying. The cool thing about this, though, is if you have a smaller ship, that's fine. You can still do 1 or 2 of these missions. If you pick up that 8 SCU mission and that 9 SCU mission, you can easily do that in a Freelancer or a Cutlass Black. I don't think you can... I think the Titan only has 6 SCU of storage, so that is a little too much to do one of those. But yeah, if you have a Cutlass Black, which is even less expensive to rent than the Taurus, it also has a tractor beam on it as well. So you don't have to buy a tractor beam outside of the rental. I think that rental is like 46,000, 50,000. Whoops. So that is quite a bit less money as well. If you wanted to, I mean, you can go do just a couple of the simple bounty hunter contracts or the simple box delivery missions. Well, they don't have those in game right now, the box delivery ones. But there's plenty of small things you can do in your Mustang or Aurora or the Cutter to get 50,000 real quick to be able to go rent the Cutlass. I think that's what it is. And again, if you wanted to, if you had a Cutter or a Titan, then just go do one of these 50,000 credit missions. You might have to do it in 2 trips, but you make 4 trips, and this is what I would suggest you do. Find a return trip that's small, not that 96,000 or that 96 SCU one, but if they have one that's smaller you can do in a couple trips, then take that one that goes from Riker up to Baijini, do half of that trip one time on your way down, and then take another one that goes from Baijini down to Riker. So if you have 2 missions you have to do in 2 trips, then you can still double your money on your time there I mean, maybe not double, depends on how much the contracts are, if they have that. I don't think they have that here by Area 18. I think they had something like that over between Seraphim Station and Orison on Crusader. I think they had one you could do there that was like a 9 SCU going up to Seraphim, and then a 8 SCU coming down from Seraphim to Orison. So you could do that in a Cutter or a Titan or something like that. And then you do those 2 missions. It's 2 trips, 2 each way, right? So 2 whole round trips to get both of those done at the same time. Then you have enough to go rent a Cutlass. And so just do a 1 rental Cutlass, and then come over here to Area 18 like this here. Do a few of these missions, because you can do 3 or 4, maybe 5 of these 50,000 credit missions. They were like the 10, 9, 8, 11 SCU or something like that. You can fit at least 3 of those on the Cutlass Black at the same time. And that's 150,000 right there. And just run around with that. See how you like the Cutlass for a little bit. Do 1 round of this right here that we're doing. We're at 26 minutes so far. So this should be able to be done in an hour. And then you've paid for your rental, and you have enough. You should have enough that you can go rent a Taurus if you want. But since you still have the whole day with the Cutlass, just go fly that around, see how you like it, do some other things, see how it compares to the starter ship you have, see if it's something that you want to work towards in-game for later, and then just save the money. Don't, go try to spend your money on ship components or a bunch of gear or anything. Just have fun, go do some bunker missions or play with some friends. Don't worry yourself about the money, because you already have the 160-some thousand you need to rent a Taurus. So the next weekend you get on, maybe it's a month later, maybe you can play for a few hours every day. Then the next day, once your Cuddy rental's done, go and rent the Taurus here and see how you like that. It's a lot bigger ship. It's much more powerful, but man, it's very vulnerable to smaller fighters, because it just doesn't move very fast. It doesn't respond quickly. So you can kind of see those pros and cons, but then you can take some other bigger bounty hunter missions if you want to do something like that, because the Connie is quite a bit more powerful. But if you do this, let's say you could even get enough money with the Cutlass in that one day to pay for the 3-day rental. If you have a long weekend, or say you're on spring break right now, you're just going to put a bunch of hours into playing this game, then do the Cutlass for 1 day and do these missions. And then the next day, do the 3-day rental of the Constellation Taurus. And by the time you're done with that, especially if you knock out, 10 of these missions or something like that, go do some other bounty hunter things. Just don't spend money. You can't modify any of the components on the rented ships anyway, so there's no point in buying components for the rented ship or anything like that. But you do all that, then you'll be in a spot where you're probably bored of doing this run after the 10th time for sure. You'll have quite a bit of cash. You could buy yourself in game the Cutlass for sure. You'll be able to have enough money for that, or you can just kind of keep grinding, do some other stuff with some friends. Maybe you've met somebody who wants to run the turret here on your Constellation. Perfect, Group gameplay is very fun in Star Citizen. And then you'll be able to buy the Constellation too, if you wanted to do that. Or a different ship that you can try out. So there we go. We have all of that done. We don't have anything left. So, I do have that 1 box back there that I need to go get. So that's about our only inefficient thing. I'll show you how to get off this cargo ladder really quick without having to do the animation. Because if you come through here, you go here, and then you walk forward, you have to deal with this animation that's so slow, and then you've got to walk down, and then you're going to fall down anyway. Whereas if you just come through, I'll even let the door close to show you, give you guys the full experience. Here you go. If you come here and then just turn around and walk backwards through those stairs, you just fall down right there. Took 2% health. Not a big deal. So grab my tractor beam here. It's funny, I have the max lift, but this is just the basic tractor beam. It's like 400 or 500 credits if you want to get that. We'll go ahead and put this back here next to that because I want it to look nice. Go ahead and close the door here. All this stuff is snapped to the grid. Not perfectly symmetrical. I missed a couple spots here and there. That's fine. Because again, we have tons of room in here. The hardest part is just building up the wall on the back. Let's see if I was actually all the way towards the back here. I was. I did get it all the way on the back. Hardest part is just building that wall up on the back. You can stack these 3 high here. Actually, no. The one SCU you can stack 5 high. 1, 2, 3, 4 high. You can stack them 4 high. My goodness. So if you want to go higher, you can. It's 3 high. Stack them 3 high. Ugh, long day. Anyhow, we got all that stuff done now. So we are going to go ahead and hit I to turn on the engines. We already closed the cargo bay, so that's great. Hold left Alt in to contact ATC. Come on, there we go. You have to be in the middle of the hangar sometimes. If you're far over on the side, ATC doesn't respond. Oh, I accidentally hit auto land, so it's landing for me. That's not what I wanted. Left Alt in for ATC. Come on.
Takeoff complete.
There we go. If that doesn't work for some reason, or you don't think it worked, the left Alt in is the keybind for ATC. Hit F11 to bring up your comms. Go over here to friends. You'll see wherever you are. We're at by Genie Point. Don't do the cargo. You're not in the cargo bay. You're over here by Genie Point. Click this button here. It'll hail them so you can go ahead and get that done. Spacebar to go up, in to move your landing gear, back, F4 to hit your camera if you want so you can see what's around you, Z and your mouse to move your camera, S to go backwards here. Be careful, controls can be kind of weird going backwards. There we are. Make sure you clear everything before you go up. And I hit K for my VTOLs once I'm out here. Hold B for just a half second to turn your quantum drive on. We're going to this marker down here, back to Area 18 to deliver the shipment. Now, we can't jump directly there. We have to jump to the planet first, which is kind of weird. So just look down. You're going to see this right here that says Arccorp. Go ahead and jump to this. Make sure you clear the station, obviously. You don't want to fly through that. Left click. Once it calibrates, we're going to fly down to Arccorp, which does not align with the point you just thought. It's weird, but that's okay. Now we can go to Area 18, which is where our mission marker is. Right there. This symbol here is for the main landing areas at the planet. So Lorville is going to have that. New Babbage is going to have that. Orison is going to have that. And Area 18 here has that same symbol. So as you can see, the spaceport is that big thing right there where our marker actually is. So we're just jumping to Area 18 to clear that distance much quicker than we could ever fly it. And then we can just come down here. I stay in quantum mode. I hold shift just to get down here quicker. Now you want to be careful. You don't want to come booking in here too fast and not be able to stop yourself before you hit the ground because you have gravity working against you when you're trying to slow down. So we are at 33.5 minutes so far. Coming back here. Once you get to 10 kilometer out, I go ahead and hold B for half second to slow down. Hit Alt in, left Alt in to call ATC again. They'll give you your hangar. Left click for your zoom. Sorry, not left click. Right click on your mouse for your zoom so you can kind of see what's around you. If you're at nighttime again, you're going to want to be using tab for your ping, your scanner, so you can just kind of see what's around you here. And I'm going to keep coming in faster. Because once you go back to your normal mode, right, your gun mode or SCM mode, whatever you want to call it, out of your quantum mode or nav mode, your speed is severely limited. But that's okay because we're coming in slow here anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down, hit N to limit the speed, K for VTOL if you want to use that. I like to kind of look at what's on top of me here to make sure I'm in line for the hangar here. And you don't have to do this if this is immersion braking for you or you like staying in the cockpit, you can. The Connie is just really long, and so sometimes you can. It's pretty easy to hit your nose or your tail doing that. So I'm going to make sure I'm level with my hood right here, that marker right there. And then I'm just going to start lining this up. Remember the middle of your turret right there, in the middle of the cargo elevator, and just kind of keep coming down to the side. I put that landing gear right on that yellow line on the side there. Oh, I'm over. So you can see if you go over like that, I'm hitting the side. It doesn't look like it right there, but there is a collision point. So that yellow line is about as far as I like to go. So hit F4 again to change your camera from third person to first person. I to turn your engines off. You can't hear any of it because of that audio bug. Hold F and over to the right to open your cargo bay. Hold Y for just a moment to pop out of your seat. The cargo elevator was open, so we're good to go ahead and use that. Run around to your lower turret. Hit F to get into the tractor beam turret, and then we're just gonna do like we did before and simply unload all of this here into that cargo bay. So just like normal. Again, now you can tell we can't hear that tractor beam because of that audio glitch. So if that bothers you, all you gotta do is just walk out and put your feet on the ground. Or see, even if you just take the personal elevator in the Connie. Oh wow, I shot that way back there. Jeez. If you take the personal elevator and just go down and come back up it usually fixes the audio too. I don't like it. It feels weird to me because I play with these really crazy headphones. It just sounds like I am in space. It's kind of disorienting. So I like to change to fix that audio glitch whenever I can. But we're doing this for speed, guys. So I'm not going to take that time. Although I say we're doing this for speed, and then I'm taking all that time to explain all of it to you guys. So it's slowing us down anyway. And it would take an extra, 30 seconds maybe to go fix that. But that's okay. I don't know what's going on with that box there, why it wasn't picking it up. As you can see here, I am building up just this back wall for us. And if you remember, when we unloaded all of this, it was an entire full floor. There we go. And there were, 10 on top, that were stacked too high or something like that. So we're going to have more. I did not get this all the way towards the back, but that's okay. We will have more on top of that, but wow, that's weird. I'm not going to be too worried about stacking these perfectly neat. Since we're going for speed and stuff, I got to get my tractor beam under control here. Jeez. Oh, I knocked that one off the grid back there. Did you see that? That was weird. Okay, come on. There we go. So now I have that back wall done. I'm just going to grab and go. Now, I will show you this here. If I grab one of these that's below another one, it can make the top one kind of freak out. So let's go here. Oh, sorry, that one didn't have one on top of it. I'll do it next. It can make that top one kind of freak out. I try to avoid that as much as I can, just because sometimes that can make it... I don't know if it snapped to the grid there. That can make these fall through the ground. It hasn't happened in a long time, but every once in a while it does. So you pull that one out. Gosh dang, did I not have any stacked on these? Let me do it again here. Sorry, guys. Incompetence. You're watching an incompetent tutorial giver. Now, I hope you guys are learning stuff from this here, or at least it's helping. So See how it made that one fall? That's on top of it. It's kind of getting in your way and stuff. Broke the tether on both of them. Sometimes they can just fall through the ground or despawn or damage your ship or go underneath your ship in the cargo bay. I've had that lift up the entire ship here before, and it's a weird experience. Causes all kinds of stuff. You never know what damage that'll do, and you just randomly blow up or fall through the floor or something. Again, it's Star Citizen. So I just try to avoid all of those situations as much as I can. But if it happens, don't sweat. Hopefully you'll be okay. But I just try not to. I try to grab the ones on the top, any of the supporting ones underneath it or things like that. I try to avoid if I can. And there's going to be a big gap there because I didn't push that one back all the way. But again, I'm not too worried about it. We have plenty of room in this cargo elevator to not have to worry about making everything perfect and no dead space or anything. If I had some big containers, I would worry about it. I don't have any of the big containers, so we don't have to make sure we have space for it or anything. It's all just these small little guys that are easy to fit anywhere. You can stack them 4 high, so if you have lots of holes in there, you can still stack them plenty high. The problem, though, is if you have like a stack in front and you're trying to set something on it and you push it towards the back and there's a hole, and so it falls down because you didn't have ones behind it. Even though it's still on the cargo grid, it may not snap to the grid. So I'll show you just how I check it. Oh, grab the bottom one there. That one fell. I'll show you once we are done with all of these, just how to check, make sure you have everything you need, that you're not missing anything. Because if it doesn't snap to the grid, it's not guaranteed to register it, especially if it's not even on the movable part of the elevator. So sometimes if it's on the movable part of the elevator, but it doesn't snap to the grid, it does know it's there. But the only way to guarantee that is to have it snap to the grid. So we are going to just finish this up here. Should only have like 2 rows left, I think. But we'll see. There we go. We are picking up some speed now. If you have the Cutlass tractor beam, I do not like that tractor beam at all. I find it hard to control. This one is just squirrely enough that I can deal with it, and it's faster when you're pushing it in and out away from you. It's very quick, so that kind of offsets my squirreliness with this tractor beam. There is a keybind. I don't remember if it's Q or G. It changes the way your mouse turns the tractor beam. So you can try that. It makes it more like the FPS tractor beam. I think there's 3 modes to that. So it's Q or G or something. You have to look it up. I couldn't quite remember. But on the Taurus, I just leave it the way it is. On the Cutlass, I have to change it because I don't like it. And I dislike the Cutlass tractor beam so much that I use a handheld tractor beam. If I'm doing these size 1 boxes, the cheap tractor beam, the multi-tool with the tractor beam attachment, is plenty fine. You just don't have much range. But if I'm doing any of the bigger boxes, the max lift does make it quite a bit quicker. So it might be worth it to you to spend the $20,000. But what I would probably say is, if you're renting the Cutlass, come on. Oh, I'm messing all these things up now. If you're renting the Cutlass, I would say just do it a couple times and deal with it. Save the $20,000 and just put that towards the rental on the Constellation Andromeda here, because the tractor beam is going to be just the same and it is plenty sufficient. So we have all of these here, and now you can see I'm starting to stack the second level, and that one snapped to the grid, but it was in a hole, so it didn't go up and stack on another one. So that's just kind of something you have to watch out for. It didn't disappear. It's still there. it may have fallen back behind the other ones. So we'll do one more check when we finish this up just to make sure everything's on the grid. Like I said, I'll show you that here in just a moment once we finish this. And to make sure that it snaps to grid, if you do it too fast or you're not sure, I like to kind of just set these off a little bit to the side. So here, I'll show you. I'll go slow on this one. Set it off just to the side so you can see the little hologram where it's going. And then when you let go, you'll see it actually move. That's how you know it's snapped to the grid. Sometimes if you put it down and you're perfectly aligned and you don't see it snap, I pick it up and set it again just to make sure. But kind of, if you're sloppy like I'm being right now, and you just turn around, you put it on there, don't push it too far back, but you just see it snap like that, you're good to go. You're just kind of sloppy about it, and it snaps into a place that looks like it should be, then you know it's snapped to the grid. You don't have to be super gentle with it all. And sometimes I think it's easier even to go higher than where you want it to be, because then it will snap down and you don't have to worry about bumping everything else. So here you see it snapped down there. Sorry, I was a little fast. And my camera was moving. I'm not the best with the tractor beam. I don't love the controls that they have for it. See, that one just disappeared there. It snapped to the grid in a hole behind that wall, the one that was stacked too high in front of it. So you're good there. That one snapped to the grid in a hole behind it as well. It looked like it disappeared, but it didn't. It just snapped to the grid. So that's okay, because I have plenty of holes down in that bottom. So that one snapped to a grid on top of the one below it. We could see that because it's stacked too high there. And you can stack these 3 high if you want to. That one snapped with a hole right below it. So that's okay. So we can go 3 high. Nope, that's still too high. Let's see here. If I put this one on 3. And the highest you can go is 4. So come on, there we go. So if we go here, did it too early. Gosh dang, I have a bunch of holes back there. We will go 3 high right here. There we go. And then you can do it 4 high as well. I don't really see any need to. I mean, there is no need to. It just takes more time because you have to be more precise to stack it 4 high right there. Okay, well, I missed it anyway. It went behind it. You see how much longer that was taking me? I still missed it versus all the other ones that I'm just kind of slapping in place there, because we have more than enough room. We don't have to be super precise here. So we'll go 4 high. There you go. 4 high. It'll still take it. Not that big of a deal. Just takes more time when you can take all that time to be precise with that, or just throw this one right there. Call it good. So everything is gone there. As you can see, we're going to hold Y for a half a second. Go ahead and come up here. And then since I'm not taking a return load, I'm going to go ahead and walk back through the cargo elevator on the ship. Otherwise, I would take this elevator again. But we're here, walk backwards, go through the thing, miss the animation. And then I just like to do one run around here. Make sure you don't hear anything bouncing around, spazzing out. Make sure there's nothing like over here that's off the cargo grid. All of that looks good. We are in there. That is 650 credit, or 50,000 credit contracts. Again, I'll just show you the credits here so you know where we're at. This should be 300,000 if I remember correctly. So let's use that there. Now we have all of these. When you hit this, it will bring up the contracts. So we have 1, that's green, 11 out of 11. That's how we know we have it. Again, if this was 9 out of 11 or 5 out of 11, it would be gray. This green thing would be gray as well. You wouldn't have all of that. You would have 12 minutes to go back and get the rest. So that's pretty tight on time. So you want to make sure you try to get them all when you leave, if you can. If you have to do it in 2, that's fine too. Just keep going. Make it quick. So we have that right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. This is a 6 SCU for 50,000. If I remember right, you could do that in a ton of ships. 9, 7, 8, 10, 11. You could do these in all kinds of small ships. So we'll go ahead and confirm. And if you have a bigger ship like this, you can stack them all and get one big profit. So here we're going to see all of these spam the top of our screen. So we have 1 right there. You got to wait a second. It'll pop up with 2 right there. Got to wait just a moment. It'll pop up with 3 right now. There you go. And then it's going to pop up with contract number 4 right now. Then you got to wait a moment. And it's going to pop up with contract 5 right there. Got to wait just a moment again, and it's going to come up with contract number 6. Boom, all done. Now, if we look over here to the right, we're only going to see the last payment that we get, not all 6. So, oh yeah, if you have other contracts, it's going to show all this here too. So it's going to go through all 6 of those because you did those contracts. So it kind of shows 2 of them, the name of it and what the requirements were, or the objective you completed, and then the name of the contract. So now it's doing all 6 of those. Once all 12 of those notifications are done, then if you look over here to the right in the middle of your screen where my cursor is here, it's going to pop up with your last payment, which I believe is just going to be 50,000 credits, or I think it's 50,250. Yeah, there you go. Don't freak out. I know I said this is going to be 300,000, right? Well, it's going to be more than that because of the 250. But don't freak out, because if you hit F1 to bring up your Mobiglass and look at your bank account, you will see we have all of that money right there. You're good to go. That 300,000 from where we were before. And you can look through all of your notifications. You can see 5,250, 5,250, 5,250, 5,250, 5,250. That was only 5. Oh, and then the other one's down there. So you can see all 6 of those right there, the name of it, what you got, the name of it, what you got, the name of it, what you got. And we are now done. That is 51 minutes and 30 seconds right now. So if you were just knocking this out as quick as humanly possible, then that was a 50-minute loop. I bet you could probably, if I wasn't explaining stuff, I could probably cut 5 or 6 minutes off, do that in 45 minutes, that whole thing. 40 minutes probably pushing it, but that whole thing, that whole round loop. So if we wanted to start this over again, you're going to go to your contracts, hauling. Oh, sorry, go to offers, hauling. There's going to be that 76,000 credit one right here. That is that 89 from Riker back to Baijini. You'll go back up there, and then you can take these 50,000 once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All Baijini to Riker. And that's your 300,000 right there. And so you can just do that loop over and over and over again every 50 minutes to be safe. And so that ends up being almost 500. Or sorry, hold on. Let me actually do the math here. I took a picture right before we started this. We were at 1,100,000. Oh, sorry. Let me bring up my bank account again. So my total was 1,170,217. After doing this whole loop, we are now at 1,548,217. So that brought us 378,000. So 378,000. After you take some fuel and stuff out of there, it's going to be a little bit less. But let's just say 375,000 credits every hour easily. No problem. I believe if you are brand new to this, as long as you understand the basics of how to move with a keyboard and mouse, you can do that in an hour. That is no problem. And there's literally zero risk involved. You're not going to get, you're probably, I don't even know if you could if you jump in quantum the whole time. I don't think you're going to get stopped by pirates. I don't even know if you can, because you're going to be in armistice and then you're going to jump almost straight to an armistice zone. So Somebody would have to be sitting right there outside of Bygenie Point or Area 18. So, you know, you have very little risk of being stopped by pirates. You don't have to risk any of your own money to do any of these contracts, and you can quit whenever you want without any risk. Now, that being said, you're probably not going to see those. You're going to have to do a couple contracts first, I think, just to get your rep here off of like the trainee. And then once you get to rookie and junior, I don't even know if I do much of the junior ones, because let's look here. If we look at the hauling missions, we can see here that the rookie ranks are these smaller ones. So those 50,000 credit ones right here from Bygenie to Riker are rookie rank. Okay, the return trip that I did for the 76,000, that is going to be the junior rank, I think. Where the heck did it go? And this is only in Arccorp. You're going to have to be in the Arccorp system to see it. Yeah, the 76,000. Oh, it's a rookie rank too. You need a pretty sizable ship to get 89 SCU in there. But like I said, it's 8, and you have to fit 8 SCU size containers. So you need a pretty decent ship to be able to get that. But this is rookie rank. All of these were rookie rank. I don't think the junior rank is worth it. Because here, look at this. From Bygenie to Riker, 95 SCU for 56,000, right? From Bygenie to Riker, 9 SCU for 50,000. So you have 9 SCU right here. You're going to move 9 boxes because they're all 1. For 6,000 more, you're going to be moving, what did I say this was? Like 11, 12 or 13 boxes, I think, from the 8 SCU for 90. So it's totally not worth it. You need a pretty large ship for this. This you can do in a very small ship. So, and it's the same distance. Like, the commodity's different, but yeah, so the junior rank to me is not worth it. The rookie rank is the way to go, because you can, like I just showed you, you stack all 6 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into one ship if you have the Constellation Taurus. That's 300,000 right there. They're all 1 SCU boxes. It takes a little bit of time, but like we just showed, 50 minutes to do that whole loop. This 76,000 from Riker, if you started in Area 18, you go up to Bygenie Point, and you got 76,000, and then you take all 6 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there, 300,000 credits right there. You can fit all on this one ship, and then you come from Bygenie back to Riker. As soon as these are done, you can pick them up again. There isn't, unless the server is having issues, there isn't a dwell time or a replenish time or a respawn time, whatever you call it. There isn't any of that for these missions. It's just straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. And you're doing 375,000. I mean, a little bit more than that, but 375,000 an hour, easy. That is completely repeatable. And this Constellation Taurus, I think, is 160,000 to rent for one day, if I remember right. So in your small ship, just do 4 of these. Do it in a couple trips. And what I would do is this 6 SCU one right here. I don't know if you can fit 6 SCU in a cutter. I think you can in a Titan. But even if you can't in a cutter, because I think you can only put 4 in a cutter. But then just take this and do this in a couple trips. If you're brand new to this, this will get you familiar with how to fly, how to call ATC, land in a hangar, all that kind of stuff. And you do 4 of these. So you have to do quite a few trips, but you do 4 of those with 0 risk. You can obviously do plenty of other things if you want, but you do 4 of those with 0 risk, and you're good to go. Then you can rent a Connie. Go straight from your small starter ship of a cutter right up to a Connie. That would be kind of crazy. So anyhow, this video is running right at an hour. You saw all of it start to finish, and that is amazing, guys. Yeah, easy to do. Are there more profitable game loops? Yes. They do involve other risk, but if you're just one to have a relaxing time moving some cargo and some boxes, that is way easier to get the swing of things without having to invest any of your own money in different commodities and things like that. So I'm going to call it good now for today, guys. But that was one round trip. We would start that loop over again if you wanted to. But there we go, guys. We are going to call that good for now. And we will see you guys next time. Have a good one. Go make some money. Get some big ships. Have fun with friends. And we'll see you later.